In this video, I'm going to compare the Rode Wireless Pro and the Saramonic Ultra, two wireless lavalier microphone systems with a lot of shared and unique features. The Rode Wireless Pro is one of the most popular options out there. That's partially because it was one of the first mainstream options to give you 32-bit float internal recording. Since then, others have come out with that same functionality, but there's a lot more to consider when choosing a lav system than that alone. First, I'm going to cover the basics of each system, highlighting the most notable features. Then I'll cover some of the usability differences between the two, and then finally we'll listen to audio samples from each so you can compare the audio quality and noise floor. I'll have a table at the very end so you can easily recap and compare them side by side. This is the Rode Wireless Pro, one of the most popular wireless lav mic systems out there, and for good reason. The transmitters on the Wireless Pro have 32 gigs of memory, giving you up to 40 hours of internal 32-bit float recording. Both the transmitters and the receiver have up to 7 hours of battery life, and they can be recharged individually via USB-C or with the included charging case. With this system, you get a zippered charging case as well as a secondary accessory case for all the little stuff, which has both pros and cons. It's kind of annoying to have to take along two smaller cases instead of one slightly larger one that carries everything. On the other hand, if you know you're only going to need the transmitters and receivers and none of the extra stuff, it does make it a smaller package and more portable. The charging case has its own internal battery that can recharge the entire system up to 2 full times, bringing the total runtime to 21 hours before needing any kind of cables to recharge. The other really cool thing about this case is that you can connect everything inside to the Rode Connect software at the same time. That makes it really easy to change settings or copy files from everything all at the same time. Another huge bonus if you have a Rode RODECaster 2 or Duo is that you can connect 2 of these transmitters to it directly, completely wirelessly. The Rode Wireless Pro supports timecode and safety channels as well. That means you can record a full volume signal to one channel and a slightly lower volume signal to another to help avoid clipping. That really helps if you're recording directly into a camera or a phone because the 32-bit recording is internal only. The Rode Wireless Pro has a signal-to-noise ratio of 72 decibels and a maximum sound pressure level of 123.5 decibels. That's about as loud as a live rock concert, so you'd be hard-pressed to find something too loud for this system. Of course, you can set the gain manually on this system, but it also has Rode's intelligent gain assist technology if you want automatic gain to be more hands-off. You'll get up to 260 meters of range with the Wireless Pro, although it doesn't have an official IP rating, so I wouldn't really count on it in rain or other inclement weather. The Rode Wireless Pro usually sells for $360, and that includes one receiver, 2 transmitters and external lav mics, as well as the charging case, other case, and accessories. This is the Saramonic Ultra, a super flexible new entry into the lavalier mic system game with a ton of useful features. The transmitters on the Ultra both have 8 gigabytes of storage, giving you up to 10 hours of internal 32-bit float recording. Both the transmitters and receiver have 6 hours of battery life, and can be recharged individually via USB-C or inside the included charging case. The charging case is a hard textured plastic and has a magnetic closure. It holds the receiver and both of the transmitters as well as both the USB-C and Lightning adapters, which I'll get to in a little bit. The charging case also has its own internal battery that can recharge the entire system up to 2 full times, so you'll get up to 18 hours of runtime before needing a cable to recharge anything. The Saramonic logo on top also doubles as an indicator light with various pulsing or blinking patterns to show you the charging status of the case. You also get a carrying pouch with 2 separate compartments, one of which fits the charging case itself, while the other holds all the other accessories. I really like this setup because you can either bring just the receiver and transmitters with you, or all of the accessories, but it's always just one piece. The Saramonic Ultra also supports timecode as well as safety track recording. The Saramonic Ultra has a signal-to-noise ratio of 90 decibels and a max sound pressure level of 130 decibels. That's about the volume of a jet engine, so I doubt you'll find anything too loud for this system. Of course, you can set the gain manually, but it also gives you an auto gain feature as well as some extra stuff. There's a 3-level intelligent noise cancellation filter, a low-cut filter, and a vocal enhancer. On the bottom of the receiver is a twist lock port that you can attach to the USB-C or Lightning adapter, or even a Sony Multi-Interface Hotshoe adapter. Like other systems, you can use this with anything that supports an 1/8-inch 3.5-inch jack, but as far as I know, this is the only system with a native Sony Multi-Interface Hotshoe adapter. That means you can use it on mobile devices as well as compatible Sony cameras completely without wires. Most other lav systems support mobile devices or cameras, or they use some kind of wired adapter, so this is one of the biggest selling points in my opinion. There's also a Saramonic app to adjust the features more easily, including enabling your phone's speakers for playback while the receiver is connected. On pretty much every other wireless lav system, if you have the receiver attached to your phone, at least on iPhone, you won't get any audio playback unless you unplug it first. So the fact that the Ultra lets you bypass that makes a huge difference in usability because you're not spending all your time unplugging and replugging the receiver in over and over. Another cool feature is that although all of these pieces have internal antennas, you can extend the range to up to 300 meters by attaching the external antenna to the receiver. This system also has an official IPX5 rating, so they're totally fine to be used in the rain. The Saramonic Ultra comes in either black or white and goes for around $269 without external mics and $299 with the external lav mics. There are some other usability differences between these which I want to talk about because I think they can make a big difference when deciding which one to pick. First, the Saramonic Ultra transmitters are significantly smaller than the Rode Wireless Pro, almost 40% by volume, while being the same weight at 35 grams. The receivers for each system are pretty much the same size, although the Rode receiver is more square, while the Saramonic receiver is more rectangular. The second thing I wanted to mention are the screens and the controls. The screen on the Saramonic Ultra is slightly bigger, and it also has a pressable dial, so selecting items and changing settings is just much easier. The screen is also on the side of the receiver instead of the top or the face, which I just think is a better position. When it's mounted into a camera hot shoe, it's just easier to see, and you can see the screen when it's inside of the charging case. That's nice because the Ultra receiver shows the charging status not just for itself, but the two transmitters as well. And when you're using the Sony Multi-Interface adapter, you can adjust the angle on the camera even more, making it more versatile. Another difference is that the Saramonic Ultra uses contact pins for charging inside the wireless charging case, while the Rode Wireless Pro uses actual USB-C plugs. It's not that big of a deal, but it is easier to just drop them in on the contact pins for charging instead of having to press them in place. And over time, the USB-C plugs are just more likely to break, although I don't really see that happening too easily. One more notable thing to mention is that the furry windscreens for the Rode Wireless Pro are black and twist lock into place, while the windscreens for the Saramonic Ultra are gray, and they actually plug directly into the 3.5mm jack. The price difference between the two full kits is $60 or $90 if you get the Ultra without the external lav mics, and the Rode Wireless Pro doesn't even have an option to get it without external mics. Both of these systems have adapters to turn them into things like a handheld mic to use for street interviews, but the Rode one is about $30, while the Saramonic one is around $17. With all that said, the only thing left to do, and arguably the most important thing, is to compare how these two systems sound. This is how the Saramonic Ultra sounds using the transmitter's built-in microphone handheld about 6 inches from my mouth. This is how the Saramonic Ultra sounds using the transmitter's built-in microphone clipped directly to my shirt. This is how the Saramonic Ultra sounds using the external lav mic handheld about 6 inches from my mouth. This is how the Saramonic Ultra sounds using the external lav mic clipped directly to my shirt. This is how the Rode Wireless Pro sounds using the transmitter's built-in microphone handheld about 6 inches from my mouth. This is how the Rode Wireless Pro sounds using the transmitter's built-in microphone clipped directly to my shirt. This is how the Rode Wireless Pro sounds using the included external lav mic handheld about 6 inches from my mouth. This is how the Rode Wireless Pro sounds using the included external lav mic clipped directly to my shirt. This is how the Saramonic Ultra sounds using the transmitter's built-in microphone handheld about 6 inches from my mouth. This is how the Saramonic Ultra sounds using the transmitter's built-in microphone clipped directly to my shirt. This is how the Saramonic Ultra sounds using the external lav mic handheld about 6 inches from my mouth. This is how the Saramonic Ultra sounds using the external lav mic clipped directly to my shirt. This is how the Rode Wireless Pro sounds using the transmitter's built-in microphone handheld about 6 inches from my mouth. This is how the Rode Wireless Pro sounds using the transmitter's built-in microphone clipped directly to my shirt. This is how the Rode Wireless Pro sounds using the included external lav mic handheld about 6 inches from my mouth. This is how the Rode Wireless Pro sounds using the included external lav mic clipped directly to my shirt. I also want to compare the noise floor of these two systems in real-world use because the technical specs don't really reflect how it's going to work. With the Rode Wireless Pro peaking at -3 decibels, the noise floor comes in at -56 decibels. With the Saramonic Ultra peaking at -3 decibels, the noise floor also comes in at -56 decibels. So both of these systems have nearly identical noise floors, although the noise presented in each is a little bit different. The noise in the Rode Wireless Pro is concentrated mostly on the low end, up to about 400 or 500 Hz or below. The noise on the Saramonic Ultra is more evenly spread across the entire audio spectrum. So in my opinion, neither one is better than the other when it comes to noise. And like any raw audio, you're going to want to do some EQ, noise gating, and compression to get the best sound out of either one. Overall, the Rode Wireless Pro has more internal storage, slightly better battery life, and integration with other Rode hardware like the RODECaster Pro 2 and Duo, but at a higher cost. The Saramonic Ultra has a higher maximum sound pressure level, official IP rating, native compatibility with mobile devices, and arguably better usability features for less money. With all that said, and after hearing the audio samples, leave a comment and let me know which one you think sounds and looks the best. Links are in the description, and buying anything at all after clicking my links is the best way to support my channel at no extra cost to you. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.